Hi, I'm A1C Steele, and I'm currently deployed at Ali Al Salim Air Base, Kuwait. Today, I'll be talking to you about airfield inspections. Inspections are to be conducted once per day at the minimum. In order to conduct inspections, you must be at least Airfield Management Shift Lead qualified or the civilian equivalent. During an inspection, you are to inspect obstacles and obstructions, construction areas, airfield markings, signs, airfield lighting, pavement areas, and aircraft arresting systems if your airfield has them. When inspecting obstacles, you want to look for any violation of the imaginary surfaces to make sure that they are properly marked and illuminated. Check the runway, taxiway, and apron lateral clearance areas for fixed or mobile violations. Due to being in this location, there will often be blowing sand. Taking a look at the shoulders of taxiway 8, you can see that this is a hot spot for sand buildup, violating the taxiway's lateral clearance and wingtip clearance of taxiing aircraft. Another common example you want to look out for at this base is mobile equipment located near the taxiways or parking aprons. In construction areas, you want to ensure that a high level of safety is maintained. Construction barricades must be properly positioned no more than 50 feet apart and properly illuminated. Here you can see an improperly lighted barricade compared to a properly lighted barricade. This improper lighting is not common, but was used due to the lack of supplies available at this base. Determine if construction equipment such as bulldozers and cranes are illuminated and parked in designated areas. This bulldozer, for example, is not properly lighted, but should be reported and coordinated with the agency or contractors working this project. Ensure all FOD and tools are being picked up around the construction area. Here you can see a metal rod that could easily be missed, but could be severely damaging to an aircraft. When inspecting airfield markings, check for peeling, chipping, fading, and obscurity due to rubber buildup. The paint on this taxiway centerline has almost completely faded away over time, and would be even more difficult to see without the black border used to highlight the marking. The paint on this taxiway centerline is chipping and peeling, likely due to frequent jet blasts and extreme heat. It is important not to peel paint away, but you should pick up any loose pieces that present a FOD risk. This runway centerline marking is supposed to be solid retroreflective white. It is almost black due to rubber buildup. This especially occurs in areas where aircraft most frequently touch down. This runway centerline marking is almost non-existent due to the fading of old paint jobs. You can see where each paint stroke was made, and only the places where they overlap remain. When inspecting airfield signs and lighting systems, ensure that they are not obstructed by vegetation, dirt, or snow. Because we are in an area where there is a lot of sand, there is no mower contract, so we have to keep an eye on the vegetation that grows wild in this area. This taxiway light is obscured by weeds, making it almost impossible to see where an aircraft is taxiing towards the runways. Check signs for correct background and legend colors, and ensure that they are easy to read. The number on this runway distance remaining sign has begun to wear off over time, making it more difficult to read. Airfield signs and lights must be frangible mounted and no more than 3 inches above the ground at the base. Here's an example of a frangible mounted runway guard light that was struck by a vehicle and found knocked over. Something we frequently find are lights that have been run over and broken off by their foundation. Here's a proper taxiway light compared to a missing taxiway light. Inspect pavement for ponding, obscured markings, loose aggregate, or other FOD. Cracks, spalling, holes, bumps, scaling, low spots, rubber deposits, and vegetation growth. Here's a large spall that is quickly becoming worse. Loose rocks easily break off on the edges and inside of the spall, creating a major FOD risk and hazard to aircraft tires. Here you can see a corner break that is slightly rising from the pavement surface. Temperature and other weather conditions can make these conditions worse. For example, the extreme heat in Kuwait can cause expansion and distress of the pavement, which may result in this sort of reaction. You may find that a paved area is FODed out by rocks, twigs, dirt, or any other small, widespread objects. This taxiway was driven across by a muddy vehicle, creating a buildup of dirt. In cases like this, we will call the airfield sweeper to clean up the mess. Here we see a common issue found on this airfield. Vegetation is growing through cracks in the pavement. If left alone, the vegetation can grow much larger and pose risk to the pavement and to aircraft. Vegetation growing through the cracks can also mean that joint seal is bad. Additionally, keep an eye out for all wildlife and remain aware of the bash condition. If you are ever unsure of the airfield inspection requirements, be sure to refer to AFI 13-204 Volume 3 and always use your local inspection form.